Hello, boys. Welcome to the SGS third annual fantasy podcast. I am your host, Jordan, and today I got a special guest. I got a special guest here, the commissioner, Kyle Dorr. Hey!
100. Hey, Chamberlain. I'm ballin' on these niggas like Will Chamberlain. I'ma keep that shit 100. Will Chamberlain. I fucked your bitch last night, Will Chamberlain. Damn.
We're on week 4 recap of the third annual SGS Fantasy Podcast, and then we'll look at week 5 projections. We'll look at some waivers. And then we'll also have a little segment called Commissioner's Take, where he can go in and say what's on his mind today, and we'll get this all started. So we'll go ahead and do some recaps. Let me get to that real quick. All right. So first matchup we'll go is Bryce and Andy. Bryce got the dub. 30-point win. Andy's team just did not perform well, as you can tell, with Amari Cooper, Darren Wallen, Tony Pollard just did not. Anthony Richardson's looking really good, and Kyron Williams is as well. Those two played very solid. Calvin Ridley kind of came back a little bit, had that touchdown in that game, so needed that for sure because he has been struggling to start this year. Ain't that right?
For the first week, he had a good week, and then after that, he's kind of been struggling to get touches. Targets.
Yeah, Christian.
So that was big time.
It's been Christian Kirk's target.
It's kind of taking over a little bit.
Yeah, Christian Kirk's been looking like WR1 for them for some reason. But Zay Jones, when he comes back, obviously those targets are going to go away.
I just got to point out real quick. I mean, look at Andy's freaking bench. Wide receiver, you over here.
Yeah, so Andy's got a very deep wide receiver core. I mean, Marquise Brown, Garrett Wilson. Which obviously with Garrett Wilson, he's been kind of having a little bit of a down year just because of Zach Wilson being the QB, but it is what it is.
Showed good signs on Monday, though.
But goddamn, he's got 2 good-ass QBs, and Andy, I'm not going to lie to you, you could maybe shop one of these 2 QBs and try to get you an even better team. That's just me saying that. That's just saying. But, all right, and then anyways, we're not going to fucking dick ride Andy's team anymore. Yeah, we got to talk about who won, and that's Bryce. Bryce got the dub. Pacheco, Diggs, Purdy all had amazing performances. So did Ayuk. Steelers played the absolute worst game I've ever seen them play against Houston.
So. Great win, Bruce.
But, yeah, dude, Bryce, you're killing it this week. He now goes to 3-1, and Andy is now 3-1. And we do got to point out, too, there is no more undefeated teams in this league anymore, too. Just shows you how much all the teams are kind of, even in a way,
Oh, yeah. Compared to the first 2 years, I mean, people are starting to catch on. People are managing a lot better. Mm-hmm. So it's good for the league.
Yeah. And, I mean, and the other thing is with the NFL season this year, it's just been so, I don't know. I feel like there's not been a lot of consistent players, going crazy.
Not at all.
Other than let's say McCaffrey. There's definitely a few others, but
McCaffrey's probably number one. Right?
McCaffrey's definitely been the most consistent by far. A lot of these players have not been consistent lately, which is kind of surprising. And actually, we can go ahead and say that about one of Chance's players. With Zay Flowers, he hasn't been consistent whatsoever. Tank Dell hasn't been either. Kelsey's kind of had a down year to start. Don't you agree? I feel like he has.
Is Taylor the problem?
I think
the Swifties getting to his head?
I think the Swifties are getting to his head, man. He's not performing like how we expect the best tight end in the league.
He's not playing like a number 5 draft pick.
100%. But yeah, Chance absolutely blew the fuck out of the water for Jack. Jack just didn't do shit. It was a very piss poor performance from Jack's team. 0.6 from Debo. How did that happen?
What is that?
James Conner, Joe Mixon, you got a combined 14.2 points from your fucking running backs, so that's just not good. 12 points from the QB. So just very unfortunate. You could have not made any moves on your bench either. The bench just looked weak this week. So, but you do got Cooper Kupp coming back from IR at some point this year, so you got that to look forward to. But Jack's team is still really good. They just had a down week, so I think he'll bounce back. But a good dub for Chance. He is now starting to get some wins in the column. Definitely had some doubts about his team when he started 0-2, but a lot of his players are now starting to step up. Josh Allen's playing out of his mind now, so he's definitely looking a lot better going through. So 2-2, and then now Jack's 3-1. So all right, next up we got Connor versus Bert. Connor Calavan. This was actually one of the closer matchups we had this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I was looking at, I mean, obviously the QB play was huge here. Lamar Jackson absolutely outperformed Daniel Jones because Daniel Jones had a horrible Monday night. And this is actually a stat that I saw. Daniel Jones is now 0-7 in Monday night football games.
Bad place to be.
0-7. So, if you're ever making any bets, if the Giants are playing on Monday and Daniel Jones is starting, I would 100% bet against him. But anyways, we'll go back to Bert's team. A.J. Brown, massive game. Devontae, Jake Ferguson did okay. Ravens defense played very well too. We've had a lot of defenses go crazy this year. But really the only downside with Bert's team is very obvious, and that's his running backs.
Yep, I agree. I think the Jahmyr Gibbs still has a ton of potential, but I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's hard to, from seeing the draft room go crazy, drafting him to really not getting any utilization. It's kind of weird.
Very odd with him. He's so talented. It seems like every time he touches the ball, you feel like he's gonna make a huge play with it because he's just got all that talent. But 32 carries for David Montgomery last week. Gibbs I just don't know if he's a start right now, which is crazy to say, but I just don't think he's a good RB1 or RB2 with the numbers he's putting up right now. So, but either way, he still got the win. His wide receivers carried him and Lamar Jackson. Yeah. Connor Calvin's team, you can't be too disappointed losing. You put up 122.
I think Josh Jacobs just needed a new scenery.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs
went for 23-9.
There was another stat I saw too that Josh Jacobs always has slow starts this season. Once he starts picking it up towards the mid range of the season, he starts playing out.
So things are looking out for Connie after those multiple trades.
Yeah, wide receivers are looking amazing too this week too. I mean, Terry McLaurin, Nico Collins went the fuck off. So Nico Collins played great. So definitely looking like WR1 for Houston. That's a surprise to me this year is Houston. They have really played well offensively.
I agree, and they're actually fun to watch.
C.J.
Stroud is a dog.
And that's crazy to say because I don't feel like I'd ever say that about the Texans. But
I agree.
They really are fun to watch now. Feels like fucking back in the Andre Johnson days. Now Bert's 3-1 now. Connor Calavan's 1-3. So Connor Calavan's gonna need to step it up a little bit.
3-game losing streak, Connie.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Connor Tuck and Seth Martin. This one was a very low scoring outing. I really wish I had Tuck this week. Fuck, man.
Who you tell it? Last week his fucking team went for 160, and this week he goes for 72.
I know, which is crazy. Cause,
Fantasy's just wild, man.
It is, and this is why I hate trying to make my own predictions on this shit because
it's tough.
I have no control over it.
Sitting on this side of the computer, man.
Yeah, it's not
a job
really,
in itself.
Yeah, it's not really consistent for sure. But with these teams this year, everyone's had off days. Yeah, Tuck had the off day for sure. I mean, just look at the last four right here.
Yeah.
Freiermuth, Olave, Patriots defense, coup, all put up a combined 5 points, 6 points.
Yeah.
Just you're not gonna win with that.
Man, I don't know if it has anything to do with quarterback play over in New Orleans, but Chris Olave first 3 weeks pretty decent. But,
yeah.
I mean, it's part of the season. You're gonna have good weeks. You're gonna have bad weeks.
I feel like his ceiling's very high.
Absolutely.
I love Olave.
Absolutely.
I think he's their best wide receiver for sure. And Derek Carr's always been a good, decent QB to throw the ball. So I mean, I feel like he's gonna bounce back. But very tough week for him. But we'll go to the winning team now. We'll go to Seth. Seth had a very good week. Um, just kidding. He only put up 91. But I'm just fucking with you, Seth. Jefferson and Love put up some pretty good numbers. Jordan Love's been a really good QB to start this year. He's definitely throwing the ball a lot.
A lot.
So, I mean, I would expect him to be averaging about 21, 22.
Good fantasy quarterback.
Definitely. But, you know, him having Justin Jefferson, I don't expect him to ever have an off week at this point.
Yeah. Aaron Jones just kind of worries me for Seth at the moment.
Yeah, and honestly, you look at his running backs too, and he does not have a good running back.
Well, and now you move on to the wide receiver core for him with Evans going down and T. Higgins. I mean, does Tyler Boyd step up in the starter role?
I don't know, man. I think you still start Higgins because he's definitely WR2 there, but Cincinnati's offense has looked horrible. So
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what to tell him.
I know it's still early though.
But great move for Seth to start Jordan Love over Joe Burrow
I
because
agree.
he would have been, he would have barely won if he would have done that.
And
So he would have
that's
still
wild.
won, but literally barely. It would have been like
Barely.
a 1 point win or something like that. So Seth's 2-2 now, and then we got Connor Tuck at 1-3. Got to get back to the drawing board, Connor Tuck. All right. Next up, we got Jace and Mr. Commissioner, and I'll let him kind of speak what he wants to say because I know he wasn't too happy about this.
It's hard. It's
playing
hard.
against them.
Yeah, and it's hard to be mad at. I mean, I'm gonna give Kalen's bitch his roses. I mean, dude was coming off. I mean, his team's bipolar, truly. And Jace told me that multiple times. But I mean, what can you do about Justin Fields really playing the game of his life so far this year? Christian McCaffrey, 4 TDs. Puka Nakua's just continue to be that guy. And then Mark Andrews, a.k.a. Mandrews, just making a statement. And Alvin Kamara, I mean, that's another pass catcher. You know what I mean? So it's
I mean, he just had an absolutely stacked team this week.
Yeah.
With really good matchups.
really good
Really,
matchups.
Justin Fields was the matchup was there.
I
He
agree.
took it.
I agree.
So,
I just feel like
yeah.
from the start, Justin Fields made a spark on the team, and I think everybody else followed. I mean,
100%. You can't be disappointed about how
can't.
your team played at
You
all.
can't.
I mean, Michael Pittman definitely disappointed, but everyone else, I mean, didn't play bad.
not terrible. And
So,
I too just had an off week. I mean, Buffalo's defense showed out. But I don't know. I'm kind of worried about my team going into bye weeks. Just running back situation because I'll have Kenneth out next week, and so it's kind of figure out if Dalvin can get some numbers against Denver at all, or But I'm really happy about Romeo Dobbs. So, I mean,
Dobbs has definitely been a really good
I
start
think he
to
got
the year.
man.
17, 12.6 average.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he's been playing very well. He's kind of, I mean, Christian Watson is back now, so that kind of worries me about him because of the target share.
I agree,
but he still performed well with Christian Watson
the ball
being
so much. But no, I can't be mad about that. Of course, I mean, back-to-back weeks, I put up 130 and got beat by 40 points. So, but
Jace just had an absolute onslaught this
so
week.
you gotta
I think this might be the most points put up by a team this year so far.
I agree, and I think
I
think has set a record. I don't know if the first 2 years anybody's put up that kind of numbers.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like 150, 160
I'm not
is
sure.
what I usually see. 180 is very rare.
And what's crazy too is like, I mean, the league is fixed to where like nobody really can score that much. And Jace, I mean, proved that wrong this week.
100%.
Hell of a win, Jace.
He's also proven a point that anybody's team can go off any
That's
week.
what I'm saying.
Because we just saw what happened with Tuck this week.
Exactly. But yeah, hell of a win, Jace. Hell of a win.
Yeah, 2-2 for Jace now. Kyle's now 2-2. We got a lot of 2-2s as well. So, but we have a lot of 1-3s as well too. So, now next matchup's Carson versus Dylan. This one not close. Really, Dylan's team is really looking bad to start the year, but he has some upside. Definitely.
Absolutely.
I really like Watson. I do like Watson. I do like Hawkinson. Sutton, I mean, yes, Denver sucks, but Sutton should try to solidify himself as number one there because fucking Judy's not doing anything.
He's not.
And I mean, Russell Wilson hasn't had a bad year.
He really
fantasy wise.
Fantasy-wise, I mean, he's putting points. He's giving you points.
I mean, he's kind of looking like his old self again because last year he wasn't.
I agree. I just don't really know what's going on in Denver. Just things can seem kind of weird.
It's just a whole I don't know. It's just whole.
It's a new coach, a new scheme, and it's probably a lot of things we don't know.
But yeah, some behind the scenes shit
for sure.
Cowboys defense put up the most point for Carson's team. I think
week.
The second time.
Week in and week out, dude.
It's
starting to become.
It's insane.
A habit.
I mean, New England sucks, and I hate to admit it, but my team is fucking horrible. So I don't expect us to win every week at all. Like, we're probably gonna lose every game this year for the rest of the year. I feel like, but I mean,
they're still the Bears, brother.
Yeah, Carson, Bijan Robinson was such a big pickup for him, and I mean, he obviously. Well, Keenan Allen had a little bit of a down week. Devontae played pretty well. Gabe Davis played well. So, but
I think Devontae's good for a good 12 points every week.
I know Devontae's very consistent. I will say that about him. He is definitely a consistent player. So Carson's now 2-2, and Dylan's 1-3 now. Yep. And now it's me and crew. I was very disappointed by how my team played this week, and I mean, let's just go down the fucking list. I mean. This is not Mahomes' numbers. Let's be honest here. What the fuck is Stevenson doing in New England? Oh, New England's offense is fucking horrible. I mean, this is not looking like a good pick for me right now. DeAndre Swift's been playing solid, so I'm happy about that. But Tyreek Hill should not be having 8 points.
Just a bad week, though.
Just a bad week for my team.
Bad week.
I just didn't put up any good numbers, and there's no one on my bench that would help. Crew's team, they played well. He had some players pop off. The one I was most surprised about was DJ Moore.
Golly,
but
that hurts me because I'm the one who traded him to Carson. But I don't know. I think Crew, this was a statement win for him. I think he got a lot of shit talking in the group, so I think he was only right. So
yeah, he definitely bounced back and told everyone right. He played very well. I mean, Jalen Hurts had a great game. DJ Moore, A-Chain. So, I mean, he's got some pickups. I mean, A-Chain was a huge pickup for him. Khalil Herbert, too.
I know it's Denver's defense, and as a Bears fan, we try not to get hyped about that, even though we still lost.
For me personally, I would not start 2 Chicago players every week, but that's just me. I just don't believe in them at all.
Yeah.
And Bears fan right here. I don't think he really believes in him either. So
try to.
You try to. But all you can say is Justin Fields looks good this week. So all right. So that's all the week 4 matchups. Now we're getting into the good shit. Let's get into week 5. I haven't even looked to see who I play. I played Chance this week. So cool. Now we'll start off with Bert versus Andy. We got the battle of the fucking Stillwater boys. Definitely very even, obviously. How it's always going to be with these matchups. A lot of them are going to be super even off the bat with projections. Really, from what it's looking like, Kyron Williams questionable. Don't really know his health status right now. What are they saying? Suffered a bruised hip.
They should get that worked out.
I think he's probably going to play this week. So. I love Andy's team, man. I like Andy's team more than Bert's. But Bert, God, A.J. Brown and Devontae Adams are such a deadly duo of wide receivers.
It's one of the best wide receiver rooms, and that speaks volumes because Bryce has a great wide receiver with Amaron and Stephon.
Yeah, and then this is actually another thing that is making this matchup interesting is Tyler Lockett and Amari Cooper both on bye.
And he still has people to replace him.
And he still has Garrett Wilson, Calvin Ridley, and Marquise Brown just happen to be on his bench.
Freaking glazing on Andy's dick.
So, I mean, his team just looks solid.
It does.
I mean, I love fucking Bert's team, too. I mean,
I do, too.
Definitely might need to see how Javonte Williams is going to be these next couple weeks. I mean, they haven't said anything about him hip flexing. So
I do like that Jalen Warren, though. I do think Jalen will eventually take that job.
I think so, too.
And Mike Tomlin said this week that changes are coming, so I don't know if that really includes that. But
yeah. I mean, obviously, they have to make changes on
Something's got to change, dude.
So something's going to be different. Obviously, their offensive line is not good for running the ball. So I'm going to give the upper edge to Andy this week just because I do not like Bird's running backs. They just keep looking at me.
Is that the only thing that's hurting him, you think?
That is to me. I mean, his wide receivers, Lamar Jackson's always a great start. It's just the running backs right now. We need to see more consistency from them in the next upcoming weeks, which they both have a lot of upside, which is something to look forward to. So I got Andy this week. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with Andy.
Andy? Okay. All right, next up, we got Bryce and Tuck. So is Tuck going to bounce back this week? We do not know. He does have Justin Herbert.
It's been turned off for a little while.
Has it? I don't know how long it's been turned off. Okay. Well, there might have been some fucking audio cut out, unfortunately, but if it happens, it happens. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know what happened. My fucking mic
That's
does
not
that
a bad
every
thing.
time, though.
It does.
Yeah,
That's like
it's so
another
stupid, man.
segment.
Yeah, but all right. So, for me personally, what looks interesting right now is fucking
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp might be coming back for Jack. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I think. And to be honest with you, I think I'm going to give Jack the edge here. I think his roster kind of seems more complete than mine at the moment. And my players kind of have a bad matchup. A couple I see he plays San Francisco. Pittman he has a good shot, but I think I'm going to give the leading edge to Jack this week.
Mm-hmm.
I like his team, but I think it's going to be a good game regardless, and I hope I do come out on top.
I agree. I think it'll be a good matchup. I really.
I'm banking on Dalvin to score some points against
Yeah,
Pitt.
the thing that's hurting you is your running backs. And Derrick Henry had a great week last week, which is very good to look at because I was very worried about him after week 3.
I think anybody was.
But he came in and stepped up.
I think he kind of reminded people he's still here.
Yeah, I mean, it really hurts you not having Kenneth Walker this week too.
We're gonna fight like hell though.
They're gonna fight. It's gonna be a close
Jack, watch
matchup.
that ass.
It's going to be a close matchup. And, I mean, if Jack puts up the performance he put up last week, I mean.
I'll get a good chance.
Got a good chance. So, I'm going to go with, I'll give Kyle the upper hand here. I'll give Kyle the upper hand here. All right. We got Carson. Oh, man.
A little early rivalry
Here
week
we go.
matchup. This is going to be great.
Here we go. So, man, this is gonna be a good matchup. Connor's definitely been struggling so far to start the year, but he's got some upside with Nico Collins, Jacobs, Sanders. I mean, and whenever Austin Eckler comes back, his team will definitely be performing a lot better.
Yeah.
We're look at these projections so far. I mean, it's insane how low scoring both of their teams are. To me, I mean, he is starting Samaje Perine this week, which that backfield has just been a mess.
It's a mess. Through and through, it's a mess.
I don't know what to say about it.
But Carson's got 2 players on bye, which kind of hurts a little bit, but I mean that doesn't mean anything in fantasy.
Yeah, Zay Jones coming back is actually huge for you too, because then you would have had to go get another wide receiver.
Yeah.
So good that he is actually coming back this week.
That wide receiver room in Jacksonville is looking good, but for fantasy wise, I mean, there's a lot of mouths to feed in the
Yeah,
wide receiver.
100%. Yeah, 3 very solid wide receivers there. This one's a toss-up for me, man. I think he hasn't changed his kicker in the defense yet. So the projection will be a lot closer. Sure. Yeah, it'll change it a little bit, not much. I think I'm gonna give. I might have to give Connor the edge here.
Connor.
I think his matchups and everything just look better to me too. McLaurin might have a field day against Chicago.
Yeah, Miles Sanders might struggle a little bit. I know that Detroit front's pretty solid.
They are pretty solid.
I think it'd be a good game. I think it's an early preview of rivalry week.
Yep.
So that'd be fun.
Big time. All right. Well, there's that. Next up, we got Crew and Dylan. I have
Jonathan Taylor coming back?
Is Jonathan
I just
Taylor?
seen that. Is he
Yeah.
coming off the pup list?
I'm not too sure if he's coming back. Says he's eligible return to week 5. He's recovered from the urging and reportedly practiced with the team in advance of week 5, but it's uncertain if he will suit up.
I think Taylor's kind of voiced that he doesn't really want to be with the Colts at all.
Yeah, so it's his whole situation's very interesting, and I love Zach Moss in that backfield right now.
I do too.
But
I don't really see them going. I mean, he's doing such a damn good job. I mean, I would hate. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be. It might be a split backfield when he comes back, I'm assuming. I would think that it would be. But Crew's team looks overall better to me this week. Dylan's team has just not been putting up numbers. But
it just scares me with Najee.
The running backs, man. I mean, and I feel like I've been saying that about a lot of people's teams. It's the running backs.
I know.
And that's just saying we don't have a lot of running back depth in the NFL this year.
Not at all.
So,
I don't know. Najee just scares me, dude. He looks like he's running with jeans on.
Wide receivers are the way to go this year, from what it seems like so far, other than fucking Miami and Miami running backs and Christian McCaffrey. So, but yeah, I like Crew's team this week. I think he's got a couple decent matchups with. I think A-Chain's going to run very well. If Jonathan Taylor does come back, then definitely give him the start. If not, put Breece Hall up in the running back spot, and I'd maybe give. Khalil Herbert a little bit of a flex chance too, yeah. So, I know I told you not to start 2 Chicago players, but he doesn't really have a choice because they have more upside than what he has on his bench right now. So, we do have to keep in mind that Saquon is maybe coming back
which is huge
for Dylan's team. It is massive.
That'll be huge for Dylan.
Yeah, it is massive. So hopefully,
I think Dylan needs it. I mean, I've been snapping, and Dylan just seems kind of down with dumps. I'm kind of worried about him. So
yep,
I'd like to see my brother happy.
100%. 100%. Yeah. So we need to make sure he performs well, hopefully. But I'm gonna give Crew the upper hand here. I think Crew's team's gonna continue to ride that momentum that he got last week. So.
Yeah. Prove us wrong, Dylan.
All right, man. We got Seth versus Jace next. Give me one sec. Make sure this stays on. All right. Jace's week. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say your thing.
I think Jace, he's got something to prove this week. I know his team's bipolar. He told me his team's bipolar. I think this is a big game for Jace because after scoring 190, I think you gotta come back the next week and put on another show to kind of solidify that.
Yeah. He definitely put on a show last week, no doubt. He's got a couple different lineup changes. Michael Thomas is now in. He has Chris Godwin on bye, so really the only loss for him this week. Yeah. Otherwise, this team is looking solid. So
I don't think he skips a beat.
Yeah, 100%.
Justin Fields obviously is going to bring even after the week last week he had.
And then we look at Seth's team here. Excuse me. How is Aaron Jones going to play? That's one question. Another question is, how is Justice Hill going to play? Justice Hill is a very interesting start this week in my mind. That backfield is just so split up. I just don't see any fantasy value with any of the running backs in Baltimore right now.
No, I don't either.
I mean, he's just going with his OSU boy, and hey, I get it. But if Higgins is healthy, even though he's questionable, I would put Higgins over Justice Hill for sure.
And if T. Higgins doesn't play, I like the Tyler Boyd start. I think him and Jamar can kind of help out a little bit. But I don't know, Joe just struggled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could throw Tyler Boyd in there too if you don't feel comfortable about Michael Gallup, but Michael Gallup.
Or Justice Hill.
Yeah, either one. But now we'll look at. So I mean, obviously Jace's team. There's no moves he needs to make. His team looks just incredible. I mean, on paper. I mean, look at him. The only
matchup with Christian.
The only player on his team right now that has a little bit of downside is Alexander Madison. Puka Nacua a little bit because of Cooper Kupp maybe coming back, but I still think he's going to be a very solid starter.
I think Jace gets a win here.
Yeah. Jace, I believe, will get the win as well, unless Justin Jefferson has an absolute monster game this week, which could be possible. I think Kansas City's secondary is a little beat up. You saw what the Jets did.
Yeah.
So, Justin Jefferson might have a field day against Kansas City.
I'm going to go on a limb here. I think Jace wins by a landslide.
Got you.
I'm going to say 25 plus.
I think it'll be a little closer. I think it'll be about a 10-point win for Jace in my mind. But, yeah, it'll be a good matchup, man. I think that's the matchup of the week in my mind.
I think you're right.
I mean, you could say me and Chances could be too. We both have this is going to be interesting.
This is a big game for you. You go ahead.
I mean, the matchup of the QBs, man. I mean, that's the first thing that pops in my mind. You got Mahomes versus Allen. So, Mahomes is playing Minnesota. Dude, their defense is not good. I mean, they've been giving up a lot of points. Jacksonville, they've been a little up and down. I think Josh Allen will have a field day against them as well.
Yeah.
Really, his running backs, to me, look better right now than mine. Wide receiver-wise, I think my wide receivers now I look at Kirk. I think he's got a little bit of a deeper wide receiver group than I do right now. Just because I'm kind of relying on George Pickens every week, which is not a good thing for me. I was hoping to get a little bit of upside on Quentin Johnston. Didn't get it.
How are you feeling on Marvin?
Marvin's been great. And I know he's been riding my bench this year, but he's been great. I mean,
you come to terms with yourself to start him. How are you talking to yourself?
Really, it's just the Broncos, man. And I know he's been playing. He's been kind of one of their positive things to look forward to this year. He's had 2 big games, but you also got to look at the targets.
That's true. That's another
2, 2, 5, and 2. He did have 5 against Miami, but think about it. It was that 70-point game. He he just doesn't get a lot of targets, and that's what really worries me about Mims right now and why I haven't been starting him. So, but yeah, that's how I feel personally about it. That's why he's been riding my bench. But I would give. I mean, to me, Chance's team looks better on paper. You could probably put him to beat me this week, but I have Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes, and they could pop off any week and carry my team. So, um, yeah, but
Who does Patrick play? Minnesota?
that's what I'm saying. So, and he's got a couple tough matchups with Zay Flowers against Pittsburgh's defense. That won't be an easy game for him. Tank Dell had a down week. But really his big upside's Christian Kirk with how he's been playing, but they are playing Buffalo. So
this is a toss-up, honestly.
very toss. Yeah, it is a toss-up, but I think Chance's team looks better on paper right now than mine. So I'll give Chance a little bit of the upper hand here this week. All right, so there's that. Real quick, we'll go and look at the standings so far, get a little bit of idea what happened with some of the teams this week. We got no more undefeateds. We got 4 3-1s now. We got Bert, Bryce, Andy, and Jack all at 3-1. SGS West is looking
Pretty dominant, yeah. Pretty dominant.
Yeah, I mean, very good teams over there winning right now. And then we got the other side. It is the SGS East of 2-2s. It looks like just a whole bunch of teams that are really even.
I think the West is just playing a bunch of cupcakes.
And man, I hate seeing this right now, but that does not look good for him to start.
Not at
so
all.
far.
That pains me to see.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you're a fantasy manager, you pay attention to playoff percentage. I know I do. So to see mine drop from an 89% to 53% after the L this week doesn't make me feel good. I don't think I'm anywhere near the panic button, but not a good sight to see.
For sure, and I mean, yeah. Obviously, we just look at these just to see how everyone's doing, and the playoff percentage. I mean, they're just doing that by analytics. So I mean, it's obviously not gonna be accurate. So Dylan 100% still can make the playoffs. It's just currently right now with how his team's been trending. It's been trending in the wrong direction.
Let him get Saquon back, and maybe that kind of.
I think it'll definitely help his team out tremendously.
I think he's kind of the glue to that team.
Mhm.
Kind of rely on him.
Is there any other teams in your mind right now that you see that are just kind of you're concerned about? Really, Dylan's like the only one to me. Connor's team is definitely a little concerning. I'm talking about Calvin. I feel like his team's a little concerning too.
I was kind of thinking him too, but I think after this week, it kind of.
I mean, just look at this.
Yeah, I know.
So he's put up 368 this year, which is the second lowest, right? Yeah.
So I think Dylan kind of solidifies that spot right now. Punishment, I think.
Just because of the injuries and everything. It's just a bad start for him.
Injury bug.
But like I said, we still got a lot of football. So I mean,
a lot of teams on bye weeks, which kind of plays a factor.
100%. It'll change.
Catch a number one slot guy on a bad week where they got 3 players on bye and get a win. Yeah. So I mean, it's just bye weeks are fun. So I'm not completely ruling out Dylan, but I think he does have that spot covered up right now. He's kind of on the by himself.
And I believe he'll start playing a little bit better because I think this race for last I feel like is going to be a lot closer than people think this year.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Now
who's kind of your front runner?
Front runner to win it all right now. Man, see, there's so many good teams to me. I would have to. I mean, it's a toss-up for me. I really like Jace's team.
I do too.
I really love Jace's team. But I also really like Andy's team too.
And I like saying Jace's name because I know he takes it to the heart. So I know he gets a big name.
Yeah. So I mean, Jace and Andy to me are kind of the ones that pop out the most, just because of how much depth Andy has. I mean, yes, we've been dick riding him, but his team is just they're deep, and yeah, they lost this week, but I mean, he's just looking like he's on the perfect trend.
I think it's Jace
And
I genuinely do think it's Jace's team. I mean, after that, he's kind of with Alvin back.
yeah,
That was huge.
Alvin back is a huge thing for him, especially seeing how many targets he got, which was
13.
absolutely insane. It did nothing with it. So imagine if he did something with it, how many points he would have put up. But I mean, yeah, I mean that's what I don't want to like say that I think his team's going to win it all just because he put up 180 this week. But I was saying this last week. I was saying that Jace's team is very dangerous.
It's scary.
And
It's scary.
we saw what they did this week. So
I just think Andy's team is just consistently.
yeah. Another thing I like looking at too. Let's check out these little final standings projections. Right now trending up. Yeah. Right now trending up is Bert, Andy, and Bryce, and then Dylan is still the only one trending down. It looks like so far. But from what we're looking at right now, number 1 is Andy.
Yeah.
I mean, just because of the depth he has. 2 is Bert.
Interesting.
2 is Bert. 3 is Bryce. 4 is Jace. 5 is Jack. 6 is Chance. 7 is me. 8 is Seth. 9 is
Carson.
Yeah, Carson. 10 Jew. 11 Connor. 12 Tuck. 13 Crew, and 14 Dylan. So
How you feeling about your spot?
I mean, I'm fine with being middle ground, and I mean that's how I was last year. I was middle ground. I mean, my team didn't put up. I mean, my team record-wise wasn't great last year. We were 500, but we still ended up getting the championship. So, I mean, that's just another point to make there too. Is like you don't have to put up an impressive record to win it all.
No, you don't.
So,
not at all.
So that's
good managing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, and I mean I feel like and I don't want to like call anyone out, but I feel like there's some people that are playing to not do the punishment.
I agree.
Do I sound wrong on saying? I feel like some people are like, I don't know. I just feel like some people are playing to. I'm trying.
I see what you're saying. I don't know if I can
Yeah.
make that assumption just yet for anybody, just because it's so
Yeah.
early. But I think once you kind of get to like the middle of the year, kind of thick of it, kind of see what the ones are. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'm just overthinking, but I do feel like there is like
There will be.
there is some. I feel like there is someone that is just playing to survive and not have to do a punishment. So I don't know why I just had that weird feeling in my
And that's
bones.
all right
But,
to feel that way.
yeah. But all right, now we'll do one more little segment. We're gonna check out the waivers. Yeah,
some
but
audio that we're just talking.
I need to just get a fucking something else, like an actual microphone. But anyways, yeah, Mechie's been very down this year. I did not know he's been playing. That's crazy. Wandale Robinson he's very talented. I feel like he's definitely had a down year, but it's just because the Giants have not looked good at all. But I feel like he wouldn't be a bad pickup to have on your bench.
Yeah, I agree.
Traylon Burks is just whatever, you know. There's not really anyone else
And
that
no
really
one really
catches my
catches my
eye
eye.
at all, bro. Why is this popping up? Fuck off. Alright. So yeah, that's all the waivers.
Any tight ends? Any tight ends?
Yeah, so tight ends are deep too. Definitely a lot of tight end options. Cole Kmet had a very big week. I dropped him because I just don't see any consistency out of him. So
Man, I want to trust Dalton just because, and they throw the ball so much, so you would think there's some upside.
He had a good week last. I think he got a touchdown last week too, right?
I think so.
And that was his first good game of the year. Was that one?
But only 3 targets, man.
He just hasn't been getting a lot of targets. Another tight end that I like this week would maybe be Jonnu Smith. Kind of sleeping on him this year. He's 10th in tight ends.
Wow.
He just dropped a 12.5 game last week, so that did help him. But he's had 2 other weeks where he dropped 6, which is his projection. So, I mean, he's been kind of consistent. He did drop a donut his first game, but he isn't a bad pickup for tight end, too, in my eyes.
I agree.
So, there's not really anyone else that really.
I think everybody really been picked up off the waivers who's kind of makes an impact on a team, you know?
Yeah, I was trying to see recent activity. There it is. So, this is what we need to look at. Okay. So, anything that has happened that's been interesting. So, Dylan he picked up Russell Wilson and dropped Elijah Mitchell. So, going with
he needed a quarterback.
Yeah, so he got Russell Wilson. You've been kind of switching around defenses.
Yeah.
The Chargers.
On a bye this week, so I dropped in.
There's nothing else that has happened really. So there's nothing really much to talk about until tomorrow if anyone picks up anyone. But we probably won't see much happen in the waivers, I would assume. No trades have happened.
It's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, the trades are been quiet this week. No trade offers have been sent to me, anyways.
Not to me.
I did get a trade in another league that I got Jacoby Myers and Khalil Herbert and $20 of Fab, which is sleeper for. I got Jacoby.
So why not?
I fucking won that trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in my mind,
$20 a fab.
Yeah, $20 a Fab. Yeah. Khalil Herbert and Jacoby Myers. So I thought I won that trade personally. That's actually kind of crazy. He was that desperate for Madison. I don't know why he is.
That's kind of weird.
Because Cam Akers is back there too now. So I was kind of shocked by that. But hey, you take what's given to you if it's a good trade. So, but yeah, now we'll go into Commissioner Take here. Got a little segment going on. Just things just anything that comes to your mind about maybe anybody's team, any players or anything that you want to sound off on.
Nothing to sound off on, you know. At the end of the day, I'm a dude's a dude. I'm a fantasy manager. I don't know, but let's see. How do I get to this?
You're getting a lot of slander for being the
I do, and I really don't know why.
And I feel like you haven't been able to
I do think it's bullshit.
Speak your voice out. And
you know, and I
tell
just.
People what,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and I don't take it to heart, obviously. I think it's gonna come with the job. I think one of these days, the dudes that really just hate on me, one of these days they're gonna realize I'm in their corner, and one of these days, I mean, they're gonna keep hating on me, and eventually I'm gonna be out of their corner, and they're gonna need me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's their choice. I don't take it to heart. I know Jace is a big lighter fluid on that, so he soaks a lot of it. That's always a but Seth is another one. I think Seth is kind of I don't know what's up with that guy. I don't know if it's all like the duck hooks that just kind of just taking over. I don't know if Kaylee's just. It's kind of weird. But
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because I think all the OSU people are pissed off just because of how bad their fucking football team
And I
is
would
this
be
year.
too. I mean,
I don't
had
blame
to
them.
watch that week in and week out.
I mean, that was kind of us last year.
It was, but
It was
I
a
mean, we only do
disappointing year.
1 year. I mean, they're every year.
But yeah, a little bit of a. We haven't really had any drama, which is good.
We really haven't.
Other than obviously the crazy trades that happened last week, that was a whole big ordeal.
That was.
You didn't
big
really
deal.
put your 2 cents in on that. What were you?
And I was kind of waiting on this moment because I knew I was coming this way. Honestly, I did think it hurt the league quite a bit, and Jay's kind of voiced his opinion on it, said the same thing, and I sided by it. But I just don't think that can happen, whether you kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel on it. But nobody on God's green earth making that trade in the end. So it was kind of interesting. Obviously, it worked out for both of them, I guess, this week. But yeah, boys, probably do some changes next year.
Yeah.
I took a vote on that.
I just because I mean I did bring up in the last pod too. I just think voting for trades should be a thing.
It'll have to start.
And obviously, if I don't know, voting it's and obviously with the voting will just keep it hopefully mellow. But then again, it won't in a way because the people that didn't vote.
Yeah, and we can still vote, and I'll still send it through. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. If I didn't send it through, I was gonna get some.
I think if the majority group of the people in our fantasy group think the trade is not even, then it should be.
I agree.
And that's just in my opinion. That's just for the majority group.
And I do kind of take the responsibility on some of that because I mean I should have sent it through immediately when I seen it and I was hot. I was hot.
Yeah, and I mean, and we didn't really have any big trades like this last year that I remember of. I mean, nothing that really caught our eye that was not even. This one was a little not in my mind. It wasn't even, but.
I don't know what kind of weed.
Carson's got other things to say about it, and he has his own opinion. So, but that just
and they're entitled to their own.
100%, yeah, 100%, man. And if I was the one who got sent that trade, I would accept it too.
Everybody's accepted that.
And I would be in your position right now, Carson. Right. I'm not gonna lie to you. Right. So I mean, I'm just saying like this is just like as a group decision. Obviously, not everyone agreed. The majority of people didn't agree, and so. That should be taken into effect.
It's over with.
It's over with, and we've moved on.
But you live and you learn in fantasy. But yeah, I'm in everyone's corner. I want the best for everybody. If there was a way that everybody could win the league, hell, I would try and find a way. But it's not reality. I'll continue to make this league better, more powerful. Bring the recognition that it deserves, and I will forever have y'all's back, whether y'all agree or not. Let's take our SGS Fantasy League
to the moon. All right, boys. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. I don't really think we got nothing else to talk about, man. I think this will be it. Good luck this week. We got a lot of great football games to look forward to this week. A lot of good matchups as well. So, and then also, if y'all got anything that y'all would like to say, obviously hit us up in the group chats and stuff. Sure. Anything that you think would make the league better. New segments.
Maybe we can get some. Maybe if a team has like a special week, figure out a way to get them on a Zoom call.
100%. Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Drop in for 15-20 minutes.
I agree. I think special guests is definitely something I want to do on this podcast more.
It'd be cool. And I think, having finding like a guy outside of the kind of come in. So
For sure,
we'll
yeah.
figure out something.
And
take
I
this pod to the moon too.
yeah, I got a roommate that's really big in fantasy football too. He would be a pretty good one to have
cool.
on here too. So, but yeah, we're definitely gonna try to keep getting this pod better and better. We just we need some more ideas, so send them our way. We're all a group here. Just let me know what y'all want to see next. I just haven't really been getting a lot. Jace did give me one for last week and kind of stirred the pot a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's what we like. I would love to see more people stir the pot, just so I have more things to talk about. I think that just makes these podcasts more enjoyable.
Yeah, and I think Bruce even said that for everybody he plays in the new week, he's got a punishment for the matchup. I think Jason and I played for $10 last week, so that we'll have $10. So I don't know. You always kind of get together, talk a little shit. Jack, fuck you, brother.
Yeah, Chance. Sorry, but it's your team's looking good and all that, but sometimes you just take on some absolute machines.
Yeah.
I think Tyreek Hill's gonna come back and dominate. I think Mahomes is gonna come back and prove himself. I'm scared about Josh Allen, but either way, good luck to you, Chance. But I'm coming for that ass, boy. Coming for that ass.
Love you, boys.
All right, boys.
Signing off.
Y'all have a good one, man.